Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Full Force News Burst live special unboxing with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80, brought to you by Generals Joe's Reborn.com. And tonight, I'm getting through them, and we are towards the end now. We've got Nunchuk, who I've saved till last, mainly because, again, this one means something to me, but we'll obviously get into that when we talk about it. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone is having a wonderful Tuesday, or whatever day it might be. It sounded like I said cheese day. I said Tuesday, but that's what happens. Hello, everyone in the comments. Stygian, Rexship, Wilfredo, Michael, Craig, Tim, Fluffle. Hello, guys. Hope everyone's doing really well. Hope you're going to enjoy me busting this bad boy out. I know I've been highly anticipating old Ralph Badducci here, and yeah, I can't wait to get stuck into him. Or I can't wait to babble on for ages, not actually getting to that actual figure for a really long time, and then everyone getting really upset and being like, just open the figure already. So let's do that, shall we? Yeah, let's do it. Let's get into Nunchuk. What? Get into Nunchuk. Right, so here we go, and we'll start with the very fancy render on the. Actually, no. What am I doing? I haven't flapped my gums about why Nunchuk's such a big character for me. So I've told this story probably about 360 billion times, but when I was a young lad, when I was a young whippersnapper, I went to the United States with the fam a couple of times, back in like the late 80s, early 90s. And one of those trips, Ninja Force was out. So this would have been early 90s. Sorry, something on my laptop. So this would have been early 90s. And of course, we had, I think at the time on shelves that I could see that I managed to get hold of were Dojo, Snake Eyes. Who else did I have? Nunchuk. And Dojo, Snake Eyes, Nunchuk. They might have been the only three I got because I didn't have Chabang, I didn't have Scarlet, Zartan, etc., etc. I just remember seeing these figures with that vibrant little pink color in the background. I love that they've added that on the on here, and of course, like the neon in the background too, very reminiscent of your kind of Ninja Force card backs in a sense. So I really do like that. But again, he was one of those figures, all the Ninja Force were, that really like appealed to me. And I'm like, okay, cool. We're getting Ninja Force versions of characters. I like it. I like the idea. And I really like the introduction of these new characters. Dojo was really interesting. And they all had like interesting things, like a bit of belt sash sticking out of them. And I know they all had like, gimmicks like special moves and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just really liked the vibe of Nunchuk specifically. I didn't have Banzai Bushido, no, Rachel, not as a kid. The only ones I'm pretty sure the only ones I picked up on shelf that day off the pegs were Dojo, Snake Eyes, and Nunchuk. And those are the kind of I don't know. I was just really excited for them. Then you turn it around, and the cross sells on there. Other Ninja Force figures are on there, and it's just like, this is so cool. And like, I was blown away by the Tiger Force. I really like the card backs, the different colors, the repaints of figures that I never had the original versions of. So Tiger Force Duke was my first Duke. Tiger Force Roadblock was my first version 1 Roadblock, if that makes sense. I had version 2 Roadblock first because that's the one we got in International Heroes in 87, 88, probably 88. But yeah, like that was my first Roadblock, and then the Tiger Force one was my second Roadblock, but it was the first time I ever had that version of Roadblock. So I was really into that. I had Dusty twice, so I had the regular version and the Tiger Force version, so that was slightly different. And it was the first Tiger Force Bazooka was the first bazooka I had as well. So that was another kind of I've just eaten, sorry. That was another kind of interesting first as well. So you had a lot of people kind of had, OG 13 figures first. But again, I was kind of like a little bit later into the brand and in the UK. So I really missed out on the whole. I mean, like I said, I had Palatoy items, but wasn't really aware of the significance of Palatoy to Action Force and to International Heroes at the time. I just thought it was like, uh, probably in my kid brain, there wasn't a connection, and it was probably a thing of like, oh, they just have the name and have done something different with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, or I didn't think of copyright or IP or anything like that back then. But yeah, is Nunchuk legal in the UK? Lols. Well, I had to buy him in the US, so he was available in the United Kingdom. I'm pretty sure. I think most, if not all, of the Ninja Force were. I'd have to double check on that one, but we did get Ninja Force to some degree, if not all of them, if all of them. Haven't picked this one up yet. Hope they do the rest of Ninja Force. Hi, Ray Murphy. We aren't in sync this time, says Jamie Lynn. I opened him up as soon as I got him. One of my faves. I have had to like really hold back on this. There's something about his design as well. That original figure, that kind of the camo, the ninja sort of commando mix, which obviously worked so well with Snake Eyes. They thought they'd try it again with Nunchuk. Even though he was masked, he didn't feel as mysterious. I think the file card was very like descriptive of where he was from and who he was and what it was like. So there wasn't the same sort of mystery surrounding this character as there was Snake Eyes. And even though like I said, they were both masked, I kind of feel like you almost saw his face with the amount of information available about his kind of background and file card and everything. It's a weird thing to say that he's obviously masked. We haven't seen his face, but it felt like you could almost see it. Do you know what I mean? In a weird way, metaphorically. Ow. Just knocked myself out. Anyway, Nunchuk, big, very happy with this. I'm a big character growing up, and love this figure as well, like originally. Now, from what I can tell, he looks amazing. I like the addition of the sort of. I know they didn't give him sneakers, which I still think is a fail. I still think like this figure needed. Ray Murphy's done a very cool custom of Nunchuk. Go check Ray Murphy's Instagram out if you haven't already. If you're not really if you're not following Ray Murphy AF, go bloody do it, because my goodness, his customs are incredible, and I know he's in the chat right now, and I know he's going to blush, but they are great. And yeah, shout out to Ray. So check out his Nunchuk because he put sneakers on him, and they are amazing. Now, this one doesn't have the sneakers, but it does have some very cool, like accessories, and it looks great, and I like the design in general. Very happy with how he turned out for the most part, but we'll have to see what he's like in hand, won't we? Now, here is his render background, which is very neon Tokyo rooftop sort of vibe, almost like he looks like a Ninja Turtle with the green and the bandana floating around like near his eyes. He's got a little bit of the Last Ronin going on there, hasn't he? So I feel like this one is very much a Turtles homage. I know it's not, by the way, but it's got that vibe. The rooftops, the neon, and again, like that, it's more Japan, isn't it? Kind of Tokyo sort of situation. But I really like that, and I haven't really given it a proper, good check to see if there's like anything on there that might be even remotely homagey. But I think it is just Japan in the background that they're going with there. And yeah, he looks great. Also, he was quite big in the Deep cartoon, which we didn't get in the UK. So that was another kind of thing that I sort of missed out on him, and that the media aspect of it. And we didn't really see him in the comics for monthly or weekly at all. So yeah. You automatically feel less mysterious when everyone finds out your name is Ralph Badducci. Indeed, Jamie Lynn Parks. I think that's what actually probably what's more is the reason why he doesn't feel mysterious is because we know his name. And it's so New York, isn't it? Excited to see what you think of this dude, says Paul. Yeah, I'm already excited, mate. So Shooter gets sneakers, but Nunchuk doesn't. I know, Rachel. It seems weird, doesn't it? Love the Back to the Future 2 hat. Thank you, Stygian. Yeah, it's one of my faves. I love this. I got it from what's it called? Universal Studios when we went there after JoeCon with the wonderful Adam Riches and Zoe. It was amazing. Had a great time. So yeah, that was fun. Just going around Universal Studios, and then basically I wasn't wearing this. I wasn't wearing this hat, and it absolutely threw it down. And we got caught outside while it rained really hard. So I was like, I need to buy a new T-shirt. I need to buy a new hat because I am soaked through. So yeah, I bought this, and I can't even remember the T-shirt. I think it was like a Jurassic Park T-shirt maybe, and I rocked those for the rest of the day and threw the rest of my stuff in a bag. But yeah, it was it was great. It was good times. Good times. This hat's been through a lot, and it's amazing. Right, back to the subject at hand. I guess I forgot the lyric. Back to the something at hand. I like Nunchuk a lot more than I expected. I like his claws as a real Zim. Oh, I'm excited to see that. Yep. Nunchuk's background feels like it needs some night creepers in it. Ray agreed. Now, it really, I mean, they would have been revealing it a little bit early, wouldn't they? That would have been very. But then again, they've kind of done that in the past, haven't they? They've put stuff in there that wasn't really a thing until much later. Can't think of any examples. But here's one for you that actually does spring to mind. The Valkyries had Junkyard in the background, and he wasn't, even on the cards for a while. So, cheers. So, yeah, but yeah, I definitely feel like it would be cool if there was some nunchucks, some Ninja Vipers in this. Ninja Vipers. Why can't I speak? Night Creepers. Yes, agreed. I wonder if Night Creeper's background will have Nunchuk in it, or some of the Ninja Force. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Let's hope. I can't wait to see what those packages look like, actually, and figures. I mean, we're surely going to see them, aren't we, on the 29th? I can't really see any. I can't see anything else that fits in the line plan that we'll see before that. Anyway, the box art is Snake Eyes Origins cameo that got left on the cutting room floor. Yeah, it feels a little bit Snake Eyes movie, doesn't it? He definitely needs his ninja kicks. Yes, blushing, says Ray. Yeah, but check Ray out on Instagram. Amazing. Just for the nunchuck custom, not for anything else that he's done. The rest of it's rubbish. I'm just kidding, Ray. It's amazing. Right. So not a lot going on the render in terms of homage and stuff, but he looks great. Figure looks awesome. The artwork is beautiful, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say what I usually say, and expect it's going to be Oliver Barrett. But it could be Scott Johnson, it could be Oliver Barrett, it could be another. But again, I'm seeing that kind of style with the shading and the scratch lines, and just again, it feels like Oliver Barrett, but it might not be. I say that every single time. You think I'd know by now, or just reach out to him and ask. Vamp and Ferret, yes, Rexship, that's another one. So the Vamp had the ferret on the car, on the render on the front of the box. So yeah, there's another example of it. Absolutely. You just know his accent is super Brooklyn. Yeah, big time, Scott. Big time. Yeah, cool. Right. That's the front. And also, we should point out, he is Ralph Nunchuk Badducci. And we've got the QR code to nowhere. Boom. And all of his skills down the bottom there. Yeah, I've got skills. So he's got that looks like level. He's got low levels here though, which is interesting. That looks like a level. Is that a 1? That might be I think that's a 1. That might be and that might be a 2, 3, 2, 2 in terms of levels. Someone will let me know. I can't remember what level 1 looks like, but that might be level 1. So he's got boot. So he's good at boots. He's good at that, which looks like one of those blooming huge balls spikes on a chain on a handle. So ridiculous weapons, maybe ninja stars and kicking people, ninja kicks. So all of his stuff's very martial artist, obviously, isn't it? So that's cool. He is 6'1". I like that they vary the heights in the line. I really do like that. I like that there's a variation and it's all over the place. I think it's wicked. Better than them all being on the same buck pretty much all the time. So yeah, again, love this. It looks the deco looks phenomenal. I really hope it's like that inside. And then always loadout, 2 Nunchuk. He's got 2 Nunchuka, 1 knife, 2 claws, and 2 very wicked looking swordy things. Interesting. Obviously, the nunchucks are important for this particular character, and I'm just glad they put them in there. Do you know what I mean? Calling out his shoulder pauldrons. Man, I've been saying pauldrons a lot, haven't I? And of course, his kind of mask, hood, bandana sort of vibe as well, which is neat. One of these days, I expect to see a close up of their crotch just randomly on there, just like right in there, package wise. And then, of course, the beautiful artwork in full, or most sort of full. And look, he's number 80. He's diagnostic 80. No wonder I like it so much. Brilliant. No wonder I've left this till the last. It's in my name. Right, let's get stuck in. I hope they bring file cards back, such an integral part of G.I. Joe that's currently missing. Agreed. Scott has given me all the information I need. Thank you, mate. Foot Soldier 2. Let's go through these while Scott has given us the information. So that's a level 2 Foot Soldier on the left. Then we move over to Melee Weapons 3, and it kind of makes sense when you read it like this. Ninjutsu level 2 with the kind of shuriken, and martial arts level 2. You think you'd be a bit higher than that, wouldn't you? I mean, these are specialists in their field, and I know they've got to vary up a little bit, and obviously not everyone can be level 4s and everything, but you think you'd have a little bit more going on in a higher level. Like, the dude's got to be bad A, hasn't he? Do you know what I mean? Like, he can't. I mean, melee weapons is a level 3. I'd have given him 1 level 4 is what I'd have given him, probably. What do you think? Am I wrong on that? Am I off base? Is it? Are we kind of? Should we look at it like the best of the best? Say Snake Eyes is level 4s across the board, apart from communication. I don't know. I kind of feel like he needs to have something at a higher level on there. Even if some of the rest of the levels are quite low, I think he needs to have a 4 in there. But anyway, that's just me. That's just me. I think that first one. I think that first one means he's a sneakerhead with a concentration in high tops. Absolutely, Jamie Lynn. Camo pants repaints in reference to Ray Murphy's Instagram pics. Oh, right, okay. Grunt is all level 1s, poor guy. Is he, Scott? I don't think I've paid attention. He is an instructor, isn't he? I would think he'd be higher. Same. Anyway, yeah, let's get stuck in. Right. I've left you hanging long enough, haven't I? Let's get into the weapons locker first, because you know that's coming first. And I'll probably talk about the legal gumph, and I'll probably talk about you know, how I'm just not really a fan of these style. I'm quite I wish we kept the original ones, yada yada yada, like I always do. Boring. Same video, mate, just with different figures in it each time. Same video, different figures. Yeah. Okay, we have got it open. Here we go. And I've managed to save the I didn't get it, I didn't flex it, which was nice. I like it when I don't bend that little tab. Right, here we go. And again, it's another ridiculous lot of text across the thing. They have to think about that, don't they, when they make these? They have to think, right, they're all going to be the same font size, so we're going to have to put the longest name on there first to see what fits, and then go from there. Ralph Nunchuk Badducci 80, and then logo 80 again. Here we go. Opening that up. Legal paraphernalia. 1 crisp packet. They've all been 1 crisp packet so far, haven't they? But then again, everything's been like a quite standard wave, like 4-figure wave release sort of vibe. And this is Nunchuk. Was Nunchuk? I can't remember, guys. Was Nunchuk an exclusive? I feel like he was like a Amazon or something. I can't remember. Can someone remind me? Because I've completely forgotten. And like, you know, when you get to a certain point with the listings, I just don't think about it anymore, and I move on to the next lot of new things. Man, why can't I get us? There we go. I can get a purchase on it. There we go. Crisps fan channel. I thought it was. Okay, thank you very much, Scott. Chris flexes on not flexing. That was a long period of time messing around with a very noisy bag. Kitty said, right, let's see what we've got here. Oh, cool. Oh man, those are dope. Let's just make sure I've got everything. Yeah, it looks like I've got everything that was advertised. So have I thrown that on the ground? No, I threw it on myself. I need like a net down here to not, to catch everything. Right, here we go. We've got the claw. This is really cool. I do like this. That's the interior there. The design is actually really interesting. There's a nice shape to everything. And it's not like it's not just like a three just Wolverine claws. It's got like a nice curvature, really nice kind of shape to it, including that little kind of like edge that pokes out here as well. That's really nice too. And then you've the kind of continue over the wrist kind of gauntlet, like a counterbalance or weight, to kind of balance the weight out, I guess. So there's probably a little bit of heavier metal down this end to kind of like keep that counterbalance. But yeah, that's really cool. And there's two of those. So we have a dose of the claws, which is nice. Does it have like L and R on them? Yeah, it does. It does. So just to double check I've got the right ones. So you can see it's got R inside, so we know that's for the right hand. And it's got L on that one for loser. I mean, for the left hand. Another thing that I didn't realize would come separately, actually, is his little bandana flare, which has actually got a little bit of deco. So it kind of phases from like black to brown. Not sure if you can really see that on here very clearly, but that's pretty nice. Like that. And then there's like a little kind of like ball kind of tab there that will probably going to pop in to a little ball joint space to move around nice and comfortably. We have that ain't a knife. It's a knife, Chris. Just stop with the Crocodile Dundee stuff all the time. I can hear you say it. That ain't a knife. It is a knife. It's a little knife with a little handle for little hands, little cheeky hands. We've got these are dope. There's two of these bad boys as well. I like these swords, Madam Two Swords. Again, like extra little deco hit with the green around like the tang at the bottom of just above the kind of handle, which is nice. And then you look at those blades are wicked. Again, like a nice like I don't know, that line, is it the temple line across there? That's really nice to kind of give it its edge. And then this little serrated bit at the back here, which is really cool. And then the handle's got like these little nubbins round the hilt, and then you've got a kind of little detail at the back there. What is that? Is that like a snake or something, or a little? What is it? It's like a little face, like a little tiger or something. What is that? It's like a little face, isn't it? Like a little lion or a little tiger or some sort of cat of some description. What is that? It could be a snake. I just can't tell. Even when I go kind of close up on here, it doesn't really give us the answer. Nunchuk was fan channel. Yeah. Possibly. Yeah, it was like fans and fan channel sort of vibe. Just getting here, McFly, says Jedi Ben. Amazing. McFly, hello. Fan channel went up with Crimson Vipers, Tunnel Rat, Firefly, Low Light, and Grunt, I think. Yeah, that's about right. Those claws have an LNR. And yes, they do. I just showed them that. I just showed you guys that. You must have said that before I showed everyone on the screen. Was messing with them on the weekend. That bandana is annoying. Kept popping out. Oh, hopefully that isn't the case. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. That's the Chicago way. Sure. The Nunchuku has the same faces. Let's have a look at the Nunchuk. Oh, that's funny. I leant on the table and picked it up with my flesh. Yeah, they're like little. It's like little animal, like little snakes, isn't it? Is what it looks like, little snake heads. So we've got the Nunchuka, which are really good. Again, nice little textural detail on the handles, and of course the little chain is quite cool. They're very bendy and flexible. No issues there with like them being too stiff or anything. It looks like there's not going to be an issue with them. Yeah, they look nice. They're made of a very nice flexible material. So it's the one time you want bendy weapons basically is with the Nunchuka. And again, you've got let's get it on the screen. You've got the same little face as was mentioned on the end. It's cute. I don't know what it is though. It does look a little bit like a snake. I like it. It's really cool. And obviously, there's two of those. Just there's the other one. I'm not holding the same one. Look, I'll prove it. It's two of them. See, two nunchucker. Right. I know the gummy weapons actually get a win here at this point. So that's all of his accessories. Let's get into the box. What do we reckon? Asleep or awake? I'm not going to wait. I'll just pull him out. Wee, Kitty said. I'm going to say awake though, and he is. He's bright, live, awake, alert, enthusiastic, and yeah, this is dope. Yeah, I'm liking it straight away. Get your ankle sorted out though, mate. Where's that going? It's all over the place. Let's have a look at him in his little box. I will say I do like the deco. I think it looks really nice, but you look on every other render and the camo's really pronounced and black and quite dark and striking. And on there, it's actually quite faint. I think it's a good look though, but I definitely think that could be a lot stronger. But then would it look as good? It might look a little bit fake. Do you know what I mean? You know, but you know what I'm saying. Good head sculpt, looks neat. Actually, yeah, I'm feeling this figure a lot. No sneakers though. What the hell's that about? Let's cut him away. Looks like we've got the those kind of easy to remove plastic tabs, which is nice. I don't need to use the scissors. You just pull it basically on one end and it snaps. It's really easy. And if you're going to have plastic tabs, I guess that's the ones to have. And there's the beautiful black and white artwork inside. Interior. Excuse me. He's got one of those blades and his nunchucks kind of crossed there, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. Nice one. Nice one. Right, let's see what he's like out of the box. So let's. Oh, right, yeah, we go. That's better. Kind of his lower leg looks a bit funky because of his ankle was kind of like almost twisted, but no, that makes sense now. Good, strong, tough knees out of the gate. I'm not going to give them too much, but they moved. The top parts of the knees moved anyway. Just give his elbows a little gentle maneuverage again. Yep, they go in there, they get there. They're strong though, very, very stiff out of the box, which is, again, I prefer that. I prefer it stiff out of the box, Kitty said. Pass Badducci Pondi left hand side, says McMurphy. I like it. I like that a lot. For those that recognize that song, I love the fact he's got the loops on his back. Anyway, let's look at him. He looks beautiful, actually. I really like that subdued camo pattern. I think it's really nice. It's a really nice look. I don't know if I'd have preferred the more stark black camo kind of pattern, but I really think that's effective. It looks really cool. It's a little bit murkier. I would say that the original definitely has that very stark, you know, you've got that green and then you've got that kind of very dark black camo pattern, which is very, well, I use iconic a lot, don't we? But for this particular character, it's very him. So it is interesting to see this kind of like almost subdued camo pattern on him. And I think I don't know if I would prefer a much darker camo. What do you guys think? What did you do? I mean, is it something you noticed or care about? There's a bit of a smudge on my back there. Look, can you see that? I'm not too fussed, but that is a bit of a smudge there. It's nice. It's definitely got a much more subdued, chill vibe. Maybe there's a shout in the future to do a retro card back one that has, you know, the more pronounced black deco. What are people saying in here? I agree about making the camo a little darker, says the real Zim. He's a decent figure. I really would have preferred black instead of grey, and I feel that the nunchucks are too small. Oh, good point, actually. Seems like a Recondo camo pattern, Ninja Recondo. He does, yeah, he's got Ninja Force Recondo. I do like this. The shape, the build, the shoulder arm is really sweet with a little pouch on it. And the wrist gauntlets, it's really good. Like, I like this kind of design on him, and the hood's gorgeous. It's kind of flexible as well. It's got a little squidge in it. It's really nice. Like, it's not like hindering. Look at that. Some really nice like poses you can get him in. It's not like supremely hindering articulation at all. That's really dope. Let's get his little squidgy bandana in and see if that stays in. Yep, just going to rub it in everyone's faces that the bandana goes in and stays in for me. Not having any issues with it popping out, and I can move it around and have it in different positions. Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. So whoever's saying that before, I'm sorry that yours doesn't quite work the way you want it to, but that's solid. Mine's really, it's in there, ain't moving. And you can really see that color difference now, can't you, against the black? Kind of going kind of a little bit dirty and brown at the end. Almost like it's either fading out, or it is the actual design color, or it's just got dirt on it. It's really cool. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, he's really not. This is a nice figure. This is actually better than I expected it was going to be. Again, I am a big fan of Nunchuk, of course, but this is like, he looks so good. The secondary works. You got the grenade on there, and the kind of the knife sheath, which I'm gonna put the knife in there. Let's start gearing him up as well. So let's pop the old, that ain't a knife, in his knife sheath. Have I put it in the wrong way around? No, that's the right way around. So that pops in there like so. There's a little knife sticking out. That's cool. Does it go in any further? No, I think that's as far as it goes. That's cool. That's in. One down. Let's get his swords, kind of his Madam 2 swords. I'm gonna put those in the little side compartments like so. There's no L&R on these, so they're probably the same. And they go in like so. So he's got and I know that people were having a little bit of a meltdown about that as well, about I don't really like the blades sticking out the back sort of thing, but I don't know, it's good. I'd prefer to have stories than not. Excuse me. And having a backpack would be difficult, wouldn't it? Or some sort of sword sort of sheath backpack, because of the wibbly hood thing over the back. So I can see why they didn't do that. Now, in terms of the Nunchuka, he's got these little loops on the back, look, of his belt, which are really neat. And you can proper Michelangelo version 1 Playmates him. That's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figure reference. That I'm not sure if it'll go in. I mean, it will, but it is a bit of a tight squeeze getting the nunchuck handles in there. I'm still going to do it though. It's going to happen. Jeez, that is tight. Oh, there we go. I'll just give it a twist and it seemed to go in there. But yeah, that is, I mean, they're not going anywhere. Once they go in there, you're probably never getting them out again. Which, from the comment of it being the nunchucks being a tiny bit too short, I can sort of see that. It's hard to get these in the belt loops, is a bit of an issue. Go on, there we go. Really did not want to go in there. It's like, no, my little head on the end of the handle is just far too big. But they're nice and secure there, and as you can see, the chain flexes quite nicely. There's none of that like white stress fracture or line or anything, which is what you would have got with a vintage Michelangelo, which is what I got with my vintage Michelangelo, because the nunchucker didn't have a chain. It had like a one pipe tube sort of thing, didn't it? It was like a straw connecting the two nunchuck handles together. If we've got Turtles fans in the chat, which we don't always do. Okay, yeah, it really is a nightmare trying to push these nunchuck handles through the loops. My goodness, that is. There we go. Did it. I'll find out now that, oh yeah, you're not supposed to. It's just for looks. There you go. Nunchucks all stored in the back. Love it. So he's got his nunchucks, he's got his swords, he's got his knife, he's got his bandana kind of like locked in. Now we've got the massive claws, which the Santa Claus, let's put them in. So this is for his right hand, so that's nice and easy. And the other easy kind of aspect of it is it's like a handle kind of thing as well. So he kind of holds them as opposed to the wrist taking the loop, like Helix, for example. So yeah, like Helix has got that kind of that space on a wrist for the kind of clips to kind of lock into, and in this case, he just holds them. So I'll just put that there on his hand and then flex it over his fingeroonies. And is it? Yeah, he's holding it. Make sure it's for the left. I think it was. I mean, it's got to be because the other one was for the other one. There we go. Yeah. So there we go. He is now Wolverined up, or to that kind of style. And I will actually admit as well, like the blades are nice and straight, so we don't have like an issue of them like bending and flexing crazily all over the place, like you do sometimes with Wolverine figures. Man, I had my last Wolverine Marvel Legends figure that I had was years ago. I haven't bought a Marvel Legends Wolverine figure for a long time. In actual fact, it might have been, oh God, what was the one just before? Was it Dakin, his kind of like son? I remember getting that one in that wave with Archangel and all that stuff. And I think the one just before that, the Wolverine was the last Wolverine I had. Was the one that came just before that wave with Dakin and Archangel. Yeah, Archangel, and who else was in that? It was a long time ago. We're a long time ago. Yeah, but anyway, again, his claws were all over the place. So wibbly. These are really cool, and I'm just getting them in a nice action pose. And there is Nunchuk all geared up, and he is dope. Again, it's a really nice, solid, satisfying figure. Way more so than I was expecting. I thought I was going to feel like without the sneakers, he was missing something. Like the amount of kind of comments I'd seen on like the blades and stuff like that, kind of like annoyingly sticking out of there. I don't mind. I think it looks great. I like the storage options. The deco I think is interesting. I don't think it's any better or worse necessarily than being kind of a darker black, but I will say that I think they could be they might you could prime it for like a retro release by giving him slightly less and putting him on, well, or maybe the same amount of stuff, but putting him on a really ridiculous Ninja Force card back and making that camo black. I think that would be a really cool way of doing it, honestly. Naruto runs sword holsters, indeed, Carl. That's what it feels like. It's really tight on mine until I start trying to position it. Once I start to move it to a new position, it pops out. I mean, it's just a matter of positioning it, then popping it back in. Oh, I see, Scott. I see what you mean. Your little bandana thing. He's a decent figure. I didn't have any QC issues with mine, unlike Arctic Storm Shadow and Firefly version 2. Arctic Storm Shadow was an interesting one for me. I like the figure, but that lack of articulation in the lower legs, like, completely just neutralizes it for being anything other than just a statue. It's really weird, but that tiny bit of articulation in the lower legs makes such a difference. Like, you can hardly really pose him very well. It's really weird, and I don't know why they didn't. I mean, I know why they didn't do it, because the design wise, there wasn't a nice, clear way to kind of make a cut, but they should have just done it. They should have just made a cut. Do you know what I mean? Um, they probably went with the lighter color so they could leave room for a retro later. Yep, true. That camo would be great for Firefly version 2. Good point. His real name may be Ralph, but the Joes may accidentally call him Chuck. Yeah. I find the belt actually flexes nice, so you can pull the loops open. Why didn't I do that? That's a good point, actually, Scott. I know exactly what you mean. What I did was I kind of pushed it, twisted it until it kind of like, screwed in, and then just kind of like leveraged the loop and kind of pushed, pinched it so that you're pulling up on the loop and you're pushing down on the handle. That seemed to work, but it was tight. Why do the ends of the nunchucks have snakes? Not a clue. Just like a nice little flare, I guess. I put them in the other way with the chain hanging down. Nice. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, that would probably, it's more practical because you could remember, yeah, you'd pull them out like going down out the bottom as opposed to out the top behind. It would probably be a bit more awkward what I'm doing, pulling up. and out, but your way probably would be better. And yeah, would be definitely a more practical way for a ninja to have them. It just kind of, I don't know, it just looks nice. It's nice. It's aesthetically pleasing. His ass is pleasing me aesthetically. Aesthetically, um, I put chain down. Says what? Yeah, claws loops fit on the blade holster. Oh damn. Okay, let's try that out. Let's try that out. So the blade's obviously already in, right? Also store the blades up. Huh? You mean like you mean like that? That's that's really weird. I can't know. That's hurting me. That's hurting my face. Um, I'm gonna try. So would you put them on like that and then put the sword through both of them? How do you mean? I'm intrigued. Or just put it from the underneath? Oh, underneath. That's cool. Like that. That really is cool if that's actually purposeful. And then you put the sword. I'm gonna see if the sword goes through as well. That's pretty neat. Although it does kind of affect the, yeah, it does kind of get in the way of the blades a little bit, like it kind of pinches the blades together. But that's really dope. I like that I do like actually that it kind of slots in so tight and comfortably on that part of the belt. Let me just get this one out. Wee, Kitty said, get out my hand. I'm going to put it on there, like so. Just to show you what's being done here is it just goes on like that and then just slides up. It's definitely made for it because it's like the exact same size and even has like a feeling of like clipping in, like locking into place. It's really, that's really tight. I love that a lot. um the only thing I'm not a massive fan of is just how the blade interacts with it on the way out. And it's not actually, it's not too bad on that one. It doesn't pinch the kind of the claws together, but it's sort of pinching the claws together on that one that's really bugging me. Actually, that's not there. That's really cool. Oh man. Okay. So now we have got him storing everything. Well, that's just phenomenal. That's just phenomenal. He looks like he's skiing now, going right down the blooming ski pole's length. Kitty said. Right. Let's get him sort of positioned in storage mode. It's like a transformer. He's in storage mode now. Yeah. Oh god, this is a beautiful figure. There's something really satisfying about this figure, guys. And again, I think the storage option. Look at that. Look at all the gear on the belt, like it's supposed to be there. That's freaking awesome, isn't it? I almost feel like the claws are protecting his legs from the blades now. As ridiculous as that sounds, because obviously claws are also quite dangerous near your back of your legs. But it almost feels like there is a bit of protection there for those from those blades. That's wicked. That is really cool. He's got, yeah, one of his one of his hips had dropped, pushed back in there. But yeah, this is, oh, man, it's just quality. And should we have Ryu on the mountain top after defeating? There you go. He's moved the bandana so it's floating in the wind now. And if you look from the back, you can kind of see that the wind's affecting both the hood and the tassels. So it looks really good. I mean, the detail on that is beautiful. Like the material kind of like folding over and everything in the actual bandana part. I love that. And then the material on the hood as well, the way that's waving and kind of resting and everything is so awesome. This is a great figure. This is a great figure. Does he come with a small nun to throw? No, he doesn't, Diana. Just the regular nunchucks, not those sort of nunchucks. Store the blades up. I don't get that. Xandar for St. Patrick's Day. No, it's Xandar for Christmas, Ryan. And I have been working out. Trust me. Hilt forward, blade up. That's the way the weight on the sword is on the back and the blade remains sharp. Huh? Hilt forward, blade up. No, lost me. I don't know how that's going to work on here. So you're saying that when you got that in there like that, it makes more sense to have the blade sort of doing this so that the sword stays in the space of the claw, maybe like that. Is that what you're saying? Because that's got armpit slice written all over it. But would you have it the other way round so the blade, yeah, is like the other direction? Let's try that. Is that what you meant? So it's sort of like, are you talking that? Is that how you have it? Because again, I don't know. I get what you're saying. I just don't like the look of the blade sticking out at the top. I'm not really a massive fan of the blade sticking out, but it's all about what we prefer, isn't it? And we've got the option to do both. And my preference in this case is to have the blades, like the handles kind of at the front and the blades kind of like skiing out the back sort of thing with those. And I definitely like, but I do 100% love how the claws mount on the on those kind of sheaths. I think that's such a cool little addition. How they like lock in, and that is just definitely how they're supposed to be. I love that. The blade up is when he's playing Fruit Ninja, says Rachel. I don't think that archery is very important. It's not, is it? Really? Is Chuckles Ken? He is now. Yeah, brilliant stuff. This, yeah, I've got to say, very happy with Nunchuk. I'm happy I left him till last now because he's an absolute gem. Could they have done other things here? Maybe, but they didn't. And the things they have done, I'm actually really pleased with. Um, I sort of have a feeling, excuse me, I sort of have a feeling that a lot of these figures are decoed in a certain way, knowing that they'll probably have a redeco in the future. So I have a feeling that there's a reason why we have this sort of like very almost like light grey sort of caressed camo pattern, which is interesting to say that when you look at like when you really look at the render. I mean that is black and it's very prominent and very sharp. You look on the artwork, you can see a bit there, very prominent, very sharp. No pun intended. No pun intended. Look on the back here. That is like not as black, but definitely sharper and more prominent camo. And then when you get this one, it kind of like almost, merges into one color. Like you don't see it hardly on the elbows. It's there, but because of all the like the textural like lines and the kind of folds, it really just goes missing, and you just see like a kind of a duller green sort of color. And then obviously the rest of it, again, I love it though. I think he's absolutely gorgeous. I love this design. I love this figure. I love the storage options. I love the weapons they gave him. Those swords are really unique. Those blades are really cool. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that actually. So I'm really happy to see like different and new weapons involved. The knife again, like a little close quarters knife kind of vibe going on as well. The secondaries, a nice fit and looks good with the grenade. The armor pieces look really good. Love the gloved like armor hands, the armor on the glove hands as well, just great. The only thing he's missing is like a tampo somewhere, like a Ninja Force logo. I'm kidding. He didn't really have anything, the original figure, I don't think, but it's just the sneakers then for me, I think. It's just the sneakers. And again, these aren't bad. They're quite sneakerish. Do you know what I mean? It's not like but they've just got, they're kind of like the ninja sneakers, aren't they? But they have got like a sneaker vibe. They're just not the kind of almost like, what are they like? Converse All Stars or something he's rocking. I can't remember exactly what he's rocking now, but then they're like a specific sneaker. So maybe that was the reason, and they've probably gone like a different route with him. You never know. We could get sneakers on a retro version, couldn't we? And if they're going to do another deco, I think that's a possibility. I really do. Anyway, um, do you think they will ever do soft goods on helmets or headgear, or will they stay with plastic? Good question, Daniel, but they'll probably stay with plastic because it's just easier, I think. and it also allows them to make it look a lot better. You know, with when you do the soft goods for that stuff, it's really hard to get right, and it's really hard to make it look good. um, Especially when it's smaller, like a little like bit of headgear and like that kind of stuff. It would look a bit boring sometimes, or just straight flat with no real textural, you know, shape to it. And at least with this, they've got the ability to kind of craft something that's a little bit kind of more aesthetically pleasing. No, Chris, put the sword in the scabbard the normal way. Just flip it so the sharp part is not facing down. Right, so you want it so that the sword kind of pokes that direction, right? Um, I don't know, I just like how it looks. I like that way, um, I like that way round. And if you put it in that, so you're kind of saying like that, basically, yeah? And it's a little, I mean, it goes in a little bit tighter. I'm not sure if that's based on the shape of the sheath. It might be that it doesn't quite go that way, if you know what I mean, because it is a bit of a push to get it through that space. But there you go. Does that make you feel better? Is that what's on the? Have we seen like the promo images would show me, wouldn't they? Although then again, you know, shooting the Galaxy would have just been putting them in anyway. He felt like. Plus, it really does mess up the claws. Like when you do that, really puts pressure on the claws, on the Santa Claus. So I think I'm going to revert back to Sharpie bits down, just because it feels better. Not even that it looks better, but it feels better, and it's not causing flex on the old claws that way. Anyway, that's how I'm rocking it. He's dope. I'm loving him. That's how Japanese swords are always carried. Cool. Okay. I'm sure that's the case, but again, in like I'm saying, it's causing issues kind of flexing the claws. The same happened to Falcon's camo. The two colors weren't stark enough in contrast. That was a lot worse, actually, Ray. And again, check Ray's Falcon custom out because that's really good. But yeah, I agree with you on that one. That was just a muddy mess. It is just, I mean, it's not even, it just looks like those two colors are merged together. It's so bad, the Falcon one. At least this one is like, you can clearly see the camo, and it's still quite a nice, you know, contrast. But with Falcon, oh my God, it is just like, let's do a dark green and then like a shade of whatever it's brown that doesn't even friggin' look any different, and just have it really muddy. Yeah, muddy green and slightly muddier green is agreed, is what it feels like. They look like sketches. They do a little bit. These ones look like ninja sketches, is what they look like. They've also got like a little, like, it looks like they've got that air pocket at the back, doesn't it? And the bottom on the sole, like a little Air Max sort of vibe. Air Jordans figure six pack. What, the originals? I can't remember what he was wearing. I think they were. I think they were Chuck Taylors, honestly, or Nunchuk Taylors. Yeah, exactly. Maybe do Arashikage symbol camo for what, for a retro version. That would be weird. Um, I might be into that. I've skipped Shooter, Helix, and Nunchuck, but after watching your live unboxings, now I'm going to get them all. Hasbro needs to cut you a percentage. No, that'll never happen. I'm just happy to interview them every now and again. Again, that will be following the 29th. It probably wasn't designed to go that way, but that's how ninjas and samurai carried swords in real life. That's what Scott was getting at. Yeah, I totally agree with both of you guys. Like I said, my point isn't because it's dangerous, because it is, the blade's down. It's just because it feels and looks a little better for me personally. But no, I totally understand what you're saying. Left my claws in the hands, didn't even think to put them over the scabbards. I know, 84 Rain. It's really cool. I'm telling you, it is a really cool addition when you can slide those up the old scabbard, Kitty said. But they look really good like that. Even if like you take the swords out, right? If you didn't have the swords with him, it's a cool way to just rock the claws, isn't it? It's just so dope. I'm really into that. And you might even be able to do a cheeky, like, no, it's a bit too tight. Oh no, you can. Oh, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, guys, everyone's going to love this little life hack. No, it's too tight now. Because you put it in one side, it makes the other side too tight to get the blade in. Effective. Oh no, it doesn't. I've done it. I've done it. Um, right. You thought the one way was really dangerous of holding his swords. I found a new way of carrying his swords, madam. Look at that. That's pretty dope as well, actually. I'm actually feeling that more than I'm feeling the way they. Yeah, actually, if I just flex them down a little bit, they look a little bit less bonkers, and they look a little cooler coming at the tops of his shoulders. Neat, eh? Like that. Yeah, so his secondary acts as a sort of a semi sword sort of what do you call it? Kind of sheath, kind of backpack sheath. And I don't know, breaks it up a little bit. Leonardo cheat code, 100%. He should be wearing the LA Gear light up shoes from the 90s. Yes, he should. Do you think they'll go for more Ninja Force aside for 1 to 2 more? The others don't seem to be much interesting nowadays. So I think let's think about this, right? Dojo, Chabang, Nunchuk, Banzai, Bushido, they're your kind of good guy new characters, right? Then of course you got Storm Shadow, you got Scarlet, you got Snake Eyes. Obviously, those are probably high up there. Then on the Cobra side, you've got the Red Ninja, which isn't red, the Night Creeper version 2, which we're sort of getting the head sculpt for, so it's pretty sure we're going to be getting version 2 at some point in the future as well. Zartan, which would be phenomenal, and who else is in that crew? Who else am I forgetting? I know Slice and Dice aren't, but that are they Ninja Force? Yeah, I think they are, aren't they? Yeah, we can get those two in there too. But like, yeah, I think they're all on the cards. I think every one of them has value, whether it be a new character for the line, or whether it be completing that sub team, or if it's just a really cool alternative character design like Zartan, which is probably the coolest Ninja Force figure going. Um, like the blimmin' mohawk and everything. I mean, come on, yeah, pixel down, yeah, absolutely. Um, Slice and dice are a must, yeah. I hope for a dice figure says, yeah. I think that's everything. Yeah, I hope they do the rest of the Ninja Force. I also want Retaliation Budo. Have you ever heard my idea, Rachel, for a Retaliation Budo? You might have done, and I've probably talked about it loads. But hear me out. Deluxe Budo, except it's the Budo regular figure, like as you kind of expect it, but it's the international kind of mail away action force, kind of international action force mail away version. There's that kind of like teal color. So it's that version, right, of Budo underneath, so that you can do the regular version as a standard release. And then the deluxe element is that you build the red samurai armor over this figure so he comes with 2 helmets. He'll have his regular helmet for the teal deco underneath, and then he'll have this big antlers kind of red helmet for the get up. And of course, he's not all teal. Like he'll have like black wrists and black pants, so that when you put the red on him, the black and the red go together, and the teal gets hidden. So that's my idea for a really cool deluxe Budo. And then, of course, you give him loads of samurai weapons, and the stand that when you put the samurai uh, gear on the stand, it's like a freestanding samurai kind of figure on a stand with all the weapons, kind of like like Snake Eyes came with that beautiful weapons rack, sort of like a more basic version of that. I think that'd be really cool, honestly. And in actual fact, you could use the ridiculous antlers on the bigger helmet, Kitty said, to have the sword rest on it, because they do that too, don't they? With if you've ever seen those that version of Budo, I've seen reference for a helmet very similar that's got those antlers on it, and they use the different kind of pegs on the antlers to rest different lengths of swords on it, like a stand. So you could like kill so many birds with like one stone with that one design, and it would be really cool, like a deluxe figure. And then the packaging. This is what my packaging idea was. So you'd make it like he's on a mission in Tokyo, and it's very much like this background, right? Except he's the interior, it's in his like penthouse suite in a Japanese like building with all the neon signs in the background. And what you'd see in the background are version 2 night creepers in the distance coming to like smash through the window and attack him. And what you could do with the packaging is when you opened it, you'd see that like freeze, that kind of like beautiful like scenery inside his apartment. The figures in there, then the samurai gear is in a cabinet, which is part like in reality it's the actual gear, and then but it's like in as you look at the packaging, it's like in a cabinet like on display sort of thing. I just think that'd be really fun, and you could have it like like a story's being told in a similar way to Chuckles, and have, like I said, in the background you see the version 2 night creepers like heading to his penthouse ready to attack and smash through the window, and Budo's there in like his regular gear, but then also the samurai gear to the right. I think that'd be so awesome. And like I said, it would be tripwire-ish where you can have both versions of a figure, and you just change the secondaries and boom, you're away. But I think that'd be wicked. Budo like tripwire with 2 sets of secondary. Absolutely. Sounds good, Chris. Thank you, Rachel. Have them turn translucent when you dip them in water. Oh, yeah. Shadow ninjas, Ray. Absolutely. Zartan being able to kill off Hardmaster made him had to be a ninja to kill a ninja. At least that's my thought. Yeah, Zartan is like, that makes sense. Zartan in Ninja Force makes sense because he was part of the whole Arashikage storyline and all that kind of stuff, right? It makes sense. The retcon of Firefly was a bit of a, that was like a bit forced, but at the same time, like I accepted it, and I quite like that figure. I like that Battlecore version of Firefly. Hale just got here. Also, just picked up a complete vintage Nunchuk with card over the weekend. Nice one, Future Fortress Maximus. Again, love that figure. Budo needs a flag to attach on his armor. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That could be part of the display for his retaliation red samurai gear, couldn't it? Hasbro could easily do the Ninja Battles playset in classified size. I love that playset with the breakaway sort of like diorama thing that can battle damage can like be knocked down, which is really cool. And then we could get is it Tiger Claw? Is it Tiger Claw? I can't remember what his name is now. That random other character that they've just managed to randomly create. Storm Shadow was in the Ninja Cobra Strike team, which might as well be Ninja Force. Storm Shadow was in Ninja Force as well. Sketch that, but we've kind of had him with the Arctic one. Sketch that one out and sneak it to Lenny next time you see him in person. You know what? I want to tell him all about this idea because I think it's a winner. Budo Deluxe would be a winner, I think. But then again, they'll probably come up with something even better, honestly. So Hasbro showed a new hooded Baron Zemo for Marvel today. I wonder if they will change their thoughts on hooded Cobra Commander. He would be a great Pulse exclusive, then he'd never hit the stores. Flaffle, that is a very good point. I mean, they had a great opportunity with the HasLab to make a hooded Cobra Commander instead of the retro Mickey Mouse one, but obviously that never happened. So I think it's weird, isn't it? Because let's face it, the only reason we're not getting a hooded Cobra Commander, I think, and I don't think this is going out on a limb, is the comments that Lorenzo de Bonaventura made ages ago when questioned about it during like one of the movies, Snake Eyes, I think, during the development of Snake Eyes. When he said that, it felt like Hasbro made a very clear and conscious decision not to do it based on those comments and the fact they were obviously trying to keep, in very good stead with Paramount for obvious reasons. I get that. But also, I think they made a stance there to be like, let's not do it. It was a rather sensitive time period, if I remember rightly, as well. So that didn't help. It's not like we had that. It's not like we had Baron Zemo left, right, and center during that time when there was a lot of like discourse, like political discourse, and a lot of like, there was a lot of like heated stuff going on. It wasn't like fun time. So I think there was an element there as well with the timing of what was going on in the the environment, in like the real world, and those comments that were made by Lorenzo de Bonaventura sort of gave them no choice but to say something like that. And also, it's easier for them not to do it. It just is. Like that, them not doing it is easier. It's a cop out, but it's definitely something that, given the choice, people and corporations will take the easy way out a lot of the time. A lot of the time, people in general will. Like if there's a path of least resistance, isn't it? Basically, so I feel like that is definitely a thing. Now, the other thing now, as we've kind of developed and kind of moved on to a degree, is you look at it and you go, we've had Baron Zemo. Why do I want to keep putting a Von in there? We've had Baron Zemo come out. I think we've had a couple sort of like that, like one kind of comic version, or maybe that was the comic version, one sort of movie version, but that was a bandana, balaclava, wasn't it? I can't remember. There was definitely some other example. Oh, that White Power Ranger one. Saying white power as well, it doesn't help, does it? But there was a Power Ranger in a white gear that had a hood, and that was worse, in my opinion, because that's like all white. So that was, that's happened in that time period too. So I think there's definitely an element, I think, of, there might be some people in the way with a moral kind of like, what's the word, like a moral objection to it, that might be stopping that from happening for Cobra and GI Joe. I would also say that maybe it's because, and this is going to sound crazy, but, well, actually, no, that is crazy, because Marvel's huge. Marvel's massive. Marvel's a much bigger brand, and a much bigger brand than GI Joe. Not saying that at the moment. I'm not saying Classified is worse off. I think Classified is still doing really well for Hasbro, probably better than Marvel Legends. But in terms of a brand recognition and all that kind of stuff, Marvel's really big. So my argument of maybe it's because Cobra Commander is too visible, but no, like what's more visible than Marvel? Like that's crazy. So I don't know whether we're kind of on the path to maybe get one eventually. I personally don't have an issue with it. I don't think it's, like I understand why maybe they felt hesitant at the time when it was, back at like the beginning of when Classified started. But like right now, I think you could definitely do it. And this is the thing, we had loads of Hooded Cobra Commander merchandise. We had a Jada Toys nano fig that came out with a hood on it. We had there was a number of like t-shirt designs and stuff like that kind of came out, official ones. And then all of a sudden there was this like clear mandate that came down, and that was it. No more Hooded Cobra Commander stuff. And we know that because we had lots of people that we have interviewed and spoken to and all that kind of stuff that have gone through the official process of approvals and things like that, and they were told without shadow of a doubt that was something that was a no-go and not to utilize or do that. So we know that it's been a thing. They've sort of addressed it in some way, shape or form, but not like directly, if you know what I mean. Zartan cheated, he used tech. Yes, Chris, he did. Deluxe Budo should have McLeod inscribed on a sword. They can say it's a Highlander reference, but we'll know better. I like that, Ryan. In fact, that McLeod sword would be brilliant, actually. Firefly looks like a ninja, so he's obviously a ninja. Thanks, Scott. You're right there. Tiger Claw and Shadow Strike. Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, good. Honestly, Tiger Claw was dope. I love the deco, the green with the orange flare and the little logo, the little Tiger Claw logo. I was down for him. I love the Real American Hero issue where Budo passes Joe military training and immediately dons full samurai gear on qualifying, completely normal. Guess who else was in that story, Ray? I think you made him for me. Yes, Lightfoot was in that one, and Repeater, I think, as well at the time. Deluxe Ninja Force Storm Shadow with Battle Axe. Yes, and yes. The problem with floating ideas to Lenny, typically designers cannot take idea from other people because there is always a chance of lawsuits for theft of idea, etc. Might be a bit different here, Scott. I'm not going to sue him if he uses one of my, ideas. Also, you never know that he might already have thought of something like that, 100%, and I could just be, I'm not going to claim. I'm not when it comes out. I'll be like, oh, I came up with that. Go and watch this video. I'm not going to be like that at all. Not in the slightest. LDB not only ruining our movies, but now keeping wanted figures from us. This guy's a menace. Vehicle says, yeah. But we'll still show the cartoon. Exactly, Flaffle. There are media that is constantly running, also like official stuff, merchandise, what have you, that has hooded Cobra Commander on it. Funny story. Paddy and Brian's Volume 2 of Total Action Force, the Volume 2, was the only, during that period, was the only officially licensed book with a hooded Cobra Commander represented on the cover. Go check it out. And what's interesting about that is that it was officially approved. So who knows? Maybe it is the end of that kind of mandate. Maybe they're loosening up on it. Who knows? We'll see what happens on that one, I guess. White Ninja Ranger. Thank you, Viper Scout. I don't know why I said the other one. Obviously, I know. Hello, Chris and everyone in the chat. Hello, David. My thoughts of getting Cobra Commander's hood in was making him a motorcycle rider that was actually originally a balaclava with a motorcycle helmet with reflective visor, then upgraded later. Oh, cool. Good idea. The big thing that blew it into no-go territory was all the furious comments made rather blowhardily all over the social media groups, emails, and phone calls. Yeah, Diana, I agree on that one. The hooded Cobra Commander was Streisand affected out of being. I get that. Yeah. We used it in the comic long after De Bonaventura boffed it. That's so true. That is so true. It almost was like a, where's our hooded Cobra Commander? And the more that happened, the more it became a thing. But we do know that Hasbro definitely had a specific mandate mentioned, because it was mentioned to a number of people when they were doing the official thing. But no, that's so true, Diana. There were hooded Cobra Commander things well after De Bonaventura mentioned it. You're totally right. Plus, Jada Toys wouldn't have been able to do their figure, and that would be easy to. They did fix it. They did another release with the mask, but yeah, that came out well after the fact. They could do a repainted Baroness cycle, but put a Cobra Commander with blue balaclava and a visor helmet. I get what you're saying, Carl. Yeah, but I think it'll happen eventually. I do. I think it will, honestly. Not to say I would, but there is always that one bad apple somewhere that will. Yeah, totally, Scott. I get what you're saying. A Scandinavian military had troops with battle helmets which look like the hooded Cobra Commander. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen those. Where did you get that cool background you use, Chris? And what character is that by your right shoulder? A Red Shadows character? Let me tell you. So I'll break it down for you while there's Nunchuk. That's what it looks like. So over here on this side, I'm at my desk right now, which is a kind of L-shaped split desk. It's really cool. It's a regular desk, and then it does this. It goes like that, so you can have like a double the space to work on. So I have like an L shape around me here. On this side, on the desk, down here. See, desk, like it. You've got the L shape around me. Wicked, eh? You've got my kind of like flexing the old Pulse Con and 40th anniversary sets and everything. And on this side, it's a blanket. It's a blanket that was made for me by the wonderful people at Roma Collectibles. Shout out Aaron and Sarah for this wonderful. This was a anniversary gift for Kate and myself. It is the Kraken from the Red Shadows, and it's a blanket, and it's on one of those. I'm really gonna like go behind the scenes here. Look, got the clips on the top, and it's on one of those long kind of like green screen sort of drape sort of hanger things. So yeah, there you go, behind the scenes. You're getting all of the information, how the sausage is made, how the sausage is thrown at you. Anyway, this is a Nunchuk unboxing, but we're talking other things at the moment. So yeah, that's what that is. And yeah, again, blanket. Really, I've slept many a time, used this as a cover when I've been sleeping on the couch, when I've been kicked out for snoring. And yeah, it's amazing. You can actually see this artwork on. You'll be able to find it on like Blood for the Baron or something. But yeah, it's the Kraken, Red Shadows, the Kraken. Brilliant, eh? Like it. Anyway, Chaz, that's what that is. Think they could try the Sigma 6 Cobra Commander. That's only a partial hood. That's a really cool design, actually, that Sigma 6 one. Scott, yeah. I don't know. I think they'll do it. I think they'll eventually do it at some point. I think it is really a matter of just being patient a lot of the time. And they may like, I don't know, they may design it a certain way so it doesn't really feel what they don't want it to intentionally feel like. Yeah, I don't know. I think they'll probably get there in the end with it. Not that again, I will preface, I don't have any insight as to whether it's happening or not, but the fact that we've seen Baron Zemo in that fashion with effectively the same, head sculpt, but with another extra additional element to it. I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility. I think the difference is, this is probably what the difference is in the mindsets of everyone involved, right? Marvel is so removed from reality, isn't it? It's so like not even close to, it's like so removed from reality. It is escapism at its finest. Zemo is like crazy ridiculous. All the designs are kind of weird and funky, especially the comic versions. I mean, look at the figure he comes with in that 2-pack. I mean, like, it is beyond ridiculous. G.I. Joe and Cobra, and especially classified series now, there's a more grounded reality to it. Whether you think that's a ridiculous statement or not, it's the truth. There is a way more grounded reality to G.I. Joe and Cobra than there is to Marvel. Marvel in like the cinematic and comic universe. I'm not talking about the Marvel comics from G.I. Joe, which will be a ironic crossover in my comparison chat here. So I think what they think in that one is, because it's so far removed from reality, you can get away with stuff and it doesn't have the same connotation. Whereas a more grounded, I know it sounds ridiculous, but a more grounded sort of franchise like G.I. Joe with the Cobra terrorist organization, that has different connotations, I guess. And I think that's where their heads are at with it. And I don't blame them, honestly. It's better to be careful than to just do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that's a Nike slogan, just do it. But it's probably safer to be, better safe than sorry, is what I think they're probably getting at. And like I said before, it's easier for them not to do it, and less aggro. And God, my goodness, could they do with less aggro, the G.I. Joe team? Well, not so much Hasbro needs to sort themselves out. There needs to be some sort of like, there needs to be an intervention, doesn't there, with Hasbro? A little bit like, can you stop doing really bad things and kind of like making really bad decisions? The G.I. Joe team, I'm not including in that whatsoever. But yeah, I think there needs to be a conversation. Someone like one of Hasbro's mates needs to have a word. Just, this is an intervention. Stop doing crazy stuff, please and thank you. What are we saying? We need to start at the Hood is All Good campaign. Maybe not. That sounds really bad, actually. They probably make it a Pulse exclusive. I mean, yeah, it would make sense for them to do it where it isn't maybe in stores. I don't know how much difference that makes, but maybe from an optics point of view. Will you be offered a new banner for the 60th anniversary for the background for the studio? I don't think. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't know. They haven't done a, or at least I haven't had one. They might have done them. And this is the embarrassing bit when someone says, "Oh yeah, Chris, they had some new ones recently that you didn't get," and I'll be like, "What? Did they get lost in the post?" No, you're off the list. Get out of here. So yeah, they haven't done one of these kind of like sets for a while for like promo. I don't know. There's probably because there's so much bloody product out. It's not really difficult getting hold of it. But I would like it if they did another one, because I would love another load of free merchandise to play with. For knowing about like 40 figures so far to come in 2024, it's kind of wild that Hasbro is waiting like until almost March to start pre-orders. It sort of happened last year though, Flaffle, didn't it? Like they held on for a while. Crocodile, I think it was around about the same time. And we were going to get a Valentine's Day stream, but layoffs happened, and it kind of sucked. So it was pushed. So it's about the same as last year. It's very, very similar to last year. G.I. Joe is MCU without powers. I get that, Carl, definitely. But that's what makes it a bit more grounded than the more, you know, like I said, more detached from reality. They did make all the bad guys in the Indiana Jones line. Yes, 84 Rain, they bloody did. They did. But I get what you're saying. I understand it. But I'm literally just trying to explain why I think where they're at mentally and why they're thinking this. Grab Hasbro's shoulders and just be, dude, just do better. I mean, Hama's original intention for Joe was being a strike team in MCU. Yeah, again, I get what you're saying, but you can't argue the fact that Marvel is more removed from reality than G.I. Joe and Cobra is, especially the Classified series, which is a more realistic take on G.I. Joe. I get that there are elements that are bonkers, like Cobra La, like, but again, Sunbow. We get bringing Cobra La's coming into the Classified series. I get it. But from a visual optic standpoint, they are two very different realities, the very different universes. One is almost like possible. The other one isn't. Not every aspect of it's possible, but a lot of it is. Q1 is usually pretty low key, says Scott. Yeah, that's what it seems. Yeah, every year it kind of has been, hasn't it? They got to march out the Joes. They absolutely have to, Carl. They do. And March makes sense, doesn't it? Well, it'll be just on the back end of February if our predictions are correct, and we'll get lots of cool figures, I guess. Too bad there's not a appropriately sized Pac-Man set in order to swap out Inky, Blinky, Pinky, Clyde, or Sue for a CC head. Absolutely, absolutely. Right then, here we go. This has been a Nunchuk unboxing, and now I've reverted to my new storage setup, whereby the swords are being stored in the secondary in a faux kind of like, you know, Leonardo style. Michelangelo's being dealt with in the side, and Wolverine's also being dealt with by hooking them up to the belt, to the sheaths. So, I mean, that is such a cool design addition. I love it. Great figure. Love the design. Wish he had sneakers. I wonder if they're going to do a retro card one and do the retro card proper, like a proper Ninja Force one, because that would be phenomenal. I'd be all for it. It'd be great. And then maybe we could get that dark black, stark contrast camo. But again, really like it. There's so much to love about this figure. I'm really into it. Hope you guys have enjoyed that little kind of chat and unboxing and what have you. I have. I will see you on the next one. Now, we won't be having an unboxing for a little while, unless I, you know, magically find some figures like next to me at some point. You never know. But we're gonna, it's gonna be kind of low on the unboxings. But if any news pops up in the week, we'll probably be doing news bursts. And I wanted to do. It looks like the next monthly is going to be a comic special where I'm going to be talking with Mark Seddon. We'll probably do a live event, and we'll let you know when that's going to happen and give you plenty of build up to expect it. But yeah, we're going to be doing that before the end of Feb, and of course talking about tomorrow's Cobra Commander issue 2 in that episode as well, because that's going to drop tomorrow, and a Real American Hero as well. I think they both drop tomorrow, don't they? I'm excited for New Comic Book Day, I'm telling you. Anyway, I will see you guys on the next one, whatever that may be. We're all out at the moment. We're out of unboxings and we're out of Let's Talk Classified until they do more name-only reveals. So, yeah, looks like we're going to be waiting until the 20th. Hey, this is the first time I've been up to date with the Let's Talk Classified name-only reveals thing. So let's take that as a win. I'm taking it as a win. Have a great rest of your evening. See you maybe soon, and stay fresh, cheese bags. And as always, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full Ninja Force. See what I did there? That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on X, formerly Twitter, @The Full Force, liking the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Full Force. We've also added a brand new Instagram, so check us out there as well, @The Full Force Podcast, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.